Factorizing trig expressions, page 7. So now we're just kind of doing the opposite of what we did last page. So if we have 1 minus sine squared, can we factor that? Well, a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So you could put 1 minus sine of theta times 1 plus sine of theta. Or you could say that 1 minus sine squared is actually equal to cosine squared. Tangent of squared alpha minus 1 is equal to, this is a squared minus b squared again, so it's tangent of alpha plus 1 times tangent of alpha minus 1. Now this last one, we would factor out a cosine phi. That'll give us 2 plus 3 cosine of phi. Here, it looks like we have, if we, did the Ginsel method and we said x squared plus 5x plus 6, we would factor that into x plus 2 and x plus 3. And then we'd substitute back that x is equal to tangent of theta. So we'll have tangent of theta plus 2 times tangent of theta plus 3. Next one, let's see, Ginsel method, 6x squared minus x minus 1. So that would be equal to maybe a 3x, 2x, maybe this would be plus there. Is that right? So that would be 3 cosine alpha plus 1, 2 cosine alpha minus 1. Okay, I think that works. Okay, simplify. 1 minus sine squared of alpha over 1 minus sine alpha. So remember the top is equal to 1 minus sine, 1 plus sine, and on the bottom you have 1 minus sine. So these cancel out, you end up with 1 plus the sine of alpha. Now this one here, we have cosine minus sine, cosine plus sine, and on the bottom you have cosine plus sine. Cancels out, you end up with cosine of phi minus the sine of phi. This one here, on the top you have sine plus cosine. On the bottom you have sine plus cosine, and then you multiply that times sine minus cosine. So these cancel out, and you end up with 1 over sine alpha minus cosine of alpha. Show that cosine plus sine, quantity squared, plus cosine minus sine, quantity squared, simplifies to 2. Interesting. Okay, so cosine, this would end up, use FOIL, and you get cosine squared plus 2 sine cosine plus sine squared. And then you have plus cosine squared minus 2 sine cosine minus sine squared. Okay, and cosine plus sine squared is 1. Cosine squared plus sine squared is also equal to 1. And 2 sine cosine minus 2 sine cosine is 0. So that's how you get 2. C. You do FOIL. So the first terms give you that. The last terms, cosine theta times 1 over cosine theta just gives you 1. It's a negative 1 because it's negative. And then you have negative cosine theta plus 1 over cosine theta. These cancel out. And then you're left with negative cosine theta plus 1 over cosine theta. What if we multiplied both of these. Let's see, we're going to multiply this one times multiply it by cosine theta over cosine theta so that we can make a common denominator. So then we end up 1 minus cosine squared theta divided by cosine theta. 1 minus cosine squared theta is equal to sine squared theta over cosine theta. And sine over cosine is tangent, so you could see that this is sine of theta times the tangent of theta. Okay, that's what they had there. Alright, sine of theta divided by 1 plus cosine plus 1 plus cosine divided by sine simplifies to 2 over sine. So, let's see. Why don't we put both over a common denominator? So, the first one we multiply times sine 1 plus cosine. And then this one we multiply by 1 plus cosine. So the top would be 1 plus cosine squared. Okay, and then, now we would have, and let's do FOIL on this part. So we'll have sine squared from the first one. And then we'll have 1 plus 2 cosine plus cosine squared. And then on the bottom we'll have sine as 1 plus cosine. So the top one, sine squared plus cosine squared, gives us 1, 2 cosine theta. And then the bottom one we have sine plus sine cosine. Actually, we could let's just keep it the way it is. Sine times 1 plus cosine. And on top we have 2 plus 2 cosine. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor out the 2 from the top. We'll get 1 plus cosine on top. And on the bottom we'll have sine 1 plus cosine on the bottom. Cancel those out. We end up with 2 sine theta. That's what we wanted. Letter G. Again, let's find a common denominator. So instead of 1 minus sine, we're going to have multiply the top and the bottom by 1 plus sine. 1 plus sine. And then this one is going to be the same thing. 1 minus sine, 1 plus sine. And on the top, we're going to multiply by 1 minus sine. And so the top is going to be 1 plus sine plus 1 minus sine. So that's going to give us 2. And on the bottom, it's going to be 1 minus sine squared theta, which is also equal to cosine squared theta. So 2 over cosine squared theta. Okay, that's it.